Recording 32.
In my talk today, I'm going to be looking at plants that have had an impact on our world and our history. Let's start with the potato. It was originally one of the staple foods of Central and South America, and when Spanish explorers traveled to the Americas, sometime in the 16th century, the potato found its way into Europe. This had several important consequences. In particular, it almost totally altered people's diet in many European countries. The potato is also believed to have been responsible for the start of a new trend, that of migrating to America. So you could say that the humble potato actually allowed many people to change their lives. However, there were also problems associated with this crop. Largely in Ireland, where the poor were very much reliant on the success of the crops. Sadly, a disease in the crop spread rapidly across the country and led to widespread potato crop failures in the mid-1800s. This meant that millions suffered from starvation as a result. Let's move on to look at another plant from the same part of the world, the tobacco plant. This originated in the Americas and had an enormous influence on the way North America developed in the 1800s. It's famed for being the original cash crop there and for funding a great deal of the development that occurred during this time. On the downside, the success of this crop resulted in a greater demand for slaves to work the crops, and this eventually led to war breaking out between the northern states and those in the south. Now, the next plant I'd like to mention is one known and used all around the world: tea. It originated in China, and in terms of its historical significance, it played a large part in the U.S. independence from Great Britain. This came about because the British government declared that the colonies had to pay a tax on the produce brought into America. It was because of the protest against these taxes that the American Revolution came about. The final plant I'll look at today is the white mulberry. Again, it originated in China and had an enormous influence on development in this part of the world, in particular in establishing trade between the East and the West. Sadly, the increase in trade brought with it the spread of disease and weapons.